All right, guys, welcome to the call. My name is Josh Brown, and I'm with Camera Direct, and I'm here tonight to talk about the private lender data feed and specifically how you can maximize your results with the private lender data feed so that you can do more deals in your real estate business. I want you to focus on what's most important today. I am not going to sell you anything today. There's nothing for sale. Credit cards can be locked away with a key. You're not going to get sold some massive package at the end. This training is specifically designed to help you get the most out of this program so you can do more deals and cash more checks with the private lender data feed. Now, we'll be doing a live Q&A session at the end of this training for you guys. So go ahead and submit your questions in the question box. If you're looking at the GoToWebinar question box there, you can go ahead and submit your questions, and you can basically put them in as you think about them. And then when I get done and to the section where we're going to take live questions, I'll go from the top and I'll start working my way down, and I will get through as many as I can in the time we've got available, and I'll do my best to get an answer to all of them. If for some reason at the end of the call I don't answer your question, it's not because I don't like you, and it's not because you did anything wrong. It's just because we ran out of time, and what I'll do is I'll make sure that I go back and get you an answer to your question. I can see who's asked it, what email address it's from, so we can make sure that you get an answer to your question. So go ahead and submit your questions as they come up, and then I'll get to them, time permitting, at the very end. But we're definitely going to do a live Q&A. Alrighty, so the private lender data feed gives you unparalleled access to new private lenders each and every month. Plus, you get a members-only website with access to tools, documents, and everything you need 24/7 with online access. So everything is right within inside the system, just like with all the rest of our programs. You get access to over 50,000 new private lenders across the United States. We even have highlighted situations where lenders who have lent on multiple transactions, we show you who they are so you can see who the big time players are in your area, or the area that you're looking for private lenders, or nationwide, or whatever the radius is you're searching on. We highlight those, and I'll show you how we do that a little later. You also get access to an automated mail manager to help you make your marketing more affordable and more efficient, because you can do everything right from within the system and right within clicking distance. So literally sitting at your desk like you are right now, sitting on your couch, wherever you are watching this webinar, you could find private lenders, and with 3 or 4 clicks have a mailing going out to those private lenders, so they're calling you saying, yes, I'm interested in giving you money for your deals. That's how simple the system is set up. Now, getting started is easy. I'm going to walk you through the basics here so everybody knows how to get in, how to use it, and we're all on the same page, and then we can start going through some of the advanced stuff. So just like all the rest of our systems, if you buy anything from us, you access it by going to realestatewealthnetwork.com. That's realestatewealthnetwork.com. And when you go there, you're going to see this page, except for the login information on the right, and the password is going to be yours and not mine, or it won't be filled in, and you will type it in. Now, if for some reason you ever need to go log in and you don't remember your username and password, you see that live support online icon at the very top with the little headset hanging over the top? If you click that, you can live chat support us from any of our websites. Almost every single one of our websites has that at the very top right. You can click on it. It'll pull up as long as it's between our 8 and 8:30 p.m., 8 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. Time slots Monday through Friday. You'll get a live support person, and they will tell you what your username and password is or assist you in resetting it. You can also just click the forgot password button there and work on it yourself. So once you log in, you're going to see our dashboard, and our dashboard is fairly simple to use. All your programs are on the left. You have some tools and admin settings across the top. On the right side there, you can see that our services are optimized for Chrome, Firefox, and Safari, but also messages right there on the right side. That's important, and nothing to do specifically with the private lender data feed, but as Cam, creates messages, or he's got a special offer or something that you guys need to know, we can send you messages through that system. You can also receive messages there for if you order a skip trace and it's ready, you'll see that come up right there within that messages tab. So that's something to look out for. As you log in, you'll see a new message pop up, and it'll be a different color and get your attention. But to log into the private lender data feed, you simply look at the left and you click on the icon that says private lender data feed. When you do, the main search page is the first thing you'll see. It's simple, it's easy, it's fairly self-explanatory. It's going to be a map of your saved search area, and it's going to automatically pull up, and you can see mine is Greenville, South Carolina. So it automatically pulls up the private lenders in and around a small distance of Greenville, South Carolina. Okay. Now, as you scroll down on the page, it's going to load more and more private lenders in the system. Now, this works the same way the vacant house data feed or the cash buyer data feed does. We don't show all the private lenders at once. And the reason we don't do that is because that might affect load time of the page. For instance, if there were thousands of private lenders in this small zip code, and in some areas of the country there are, it would take a long time for this page to load for you because the behind the scenes code of it would be going to get all the data and filling it in, and it'd want to fill it all in before it showed you the data on the map. So what we've done is made it quick, and it shows you 20 at a time. Now, if you scroll down on the page, it'll load 20 more and 20 more and 20 more and 20 more. And then when you go back up to the map, you'll see that it's got all the lenders right there on the map for you. So we really set it up so that you get this really good ease of use mixture and data flow mixture. So if you need to see more, or you're like, hey, I got here, there's only 20, just try scrolling down. It'll load more, okay? And then as you scroll down, obviously, you'll see more. You can also zoom in and see where the lenders are. And that's one of the things I love about this map feature within all of our systems is, if I go back a screen here, you can see there's a lot of lenders, but it's a little confusing. Like, are they just lending in and around the whole area of Greenville, or is there an area where they're concentrated? If I've got a property on, 123 Main Street, are there any lenders in and around there? And with this view, I could log in and see if I had a property right here, I could zoom in and see that there's someone lending in and around all these areas. And if I'm looking for a lender on that house, I could go after each one of these lenders and say, hey, would you like to lend on a property that's right down the street? Okay. So it's pretty useful. It's also a useful tool if I'm sort of looking at market research. Do I want to get into an area? Is this a good place to start looking for motivated sellers? Because if you find motivated sellers, that means you're going to end up needing to either wholesale the property or fix and flip it yourself. It's always good for me to know. I like to see that there's private lender activity in an area because it tells me that there are deals happening in that area. It's the same thing with cash buyers. I like to see that there are cash buyers in an area because it tells me there are deals happening in that area. Now, same with all the rest of our systems, you can choose the filters to fit your needs. There's not as many filters with private lenders, which makes it great, but it also means that you need to take the time to understand what they are. You can include or exclude anonymous lender names. So sometimes the reported name is anonymous and not in a name or an entity. And if it's like that, you can exclude them if you want to. I like to include them because I don't care that it's anonymous. You could include or exclude multiple transactions, one-time lenders, LLC, and trusts. You can also, on this middle filter here, you can see there's two tabs on either side. You can filter this down, and you can slide it to the left or the right. This is a slide filter, and you can slide it to the amount of money that you're looking for. So you could say, between $0 and $100,000 if you're only looking for someone who's willing to lend $100,000. But I would suggest you go, a much bigger group than that. You could say from, $20,000 to $350,000 and look for those people. And what you're doing is basically filtering your list to lenders that are most likely going to match and be likely to lend on a property like yours or a deal like yours or with you. Okay, so that's why we have these filters. You can also search by site address, lender address, or both. And then once you've made those decisions, you click search. And we'll talk about the difference between site and lender address here in a bit. And then you start reviewing leads. It's going to pull up all the leads that meet your criteria right within the system, right there. And you can go one by one and click on these if you want to. Or you can scroll down and look at the list like this, and you'll see them listed right here. Hendricks Living Trust, a mailing address, a site address, the loan amount, how much square foot that property had if it was reported. Sometimes it's not. The assessed value, transfer value, and all that stuff. Okay, so I can see it all right here. Now, once you've run a search, you can save all the private lender leads you're interested in working on, which allows you to organize leads as you work them. So if I'm going through here and I see some private lenders that really jump out at me, I can easily click this little tab right here that looks like a bookmark, and it'll save them right within the system. I could instantly print them, and it'll print a little sheet that gives me detailed information on these people. Or I could click on this file folder, which will pull up more information on them, and it looks like this. This is your leads detail page, okay? And right from within this system, you could see again, I could save or I could print. Now, this sort of detailed lead information is all you really need to start deciding whether or not this is someone you're going to want to target as a private lender. So again, you can see at the top we have a name. We can also see the type of property this was. So I can see that Jerry lent on a property that looks like an investment property. It's hidden behind a nice big tree that needs to be trimmed, but I can see behind it, it's like a little brick house. That's great because chances are I'm an investor in the same area, and those are the types of houses I'm going to find. I love it. I can see that obviously his name, his address. I can see that there's no phone number reported. One thing you're going to find is phone numbers cannot be provided with a private lender data feed, and this is to protect from possible SEC compliance violations. You cannot just cold call someone and ask them to invest in a property. They need to contact you about the opportunity. I'm going to talk in a bit about how you can make sure that you're always SEC compliant. But any chance we get to make sure that you can't break the rules, we're going to do it for you. And this is one of those. We don't want to cross any lines, so it's not provided. You can get the loan amount, which is great. This is, if you're looking for a lender who is comfortable loaning $175,000 on a property, I think Jerry is going to qualify, right? And you can see the transfer value and the assessed value, and we'll go through what that is here in a minute. You can also load the map of where the property is, and you can see it both in like a street map view and a satellite view, which is here. And I kind of like that because it allows me to get a better picture of where this property is. Again, I can see that this lender is comfortable lending on a property that's in this area, and I can zoom in much further and get a close idea of it. I can see about where it's at, and again, it just gives me a better idea of what this lender's comfortable with. And then I can save all those leads. Now, in my save leads, you can save the leads you want to market to and or are working on right within the system. And you can go back to my save leads anytime you want. You can scroll through from these drop-down boxes here. You could send mailings, you can follow up, you can move them, apply labels, all that kind of stuff. And we'll get to that here in a second. Now, with my labels, you can now easily track specific mailings and keep better tabs on your leads. And this is important because one thing that a lot of investors sort of lose track of is tracking and sort of marking their marketing as they're doing it. If you don't track things, then you can't see what's working or what's not, right? So labels are a great way to track. For instance, if you want to have two lists, one small list of super high quality potential private lenders that you're going to spend a little more money on or do maybe a little more fancy marketing to, then what you can do is you can come in here and create a label right here by clicking create new label. You can call them hot lenders, right? And then you can go apply that label to those hot lenders. And then you can come in here and create a new label called regular lenders or average lenders or whatever, blanket lenders. I don't care what you want to call them, but you can create that and apply it to everybody else. And then as you're going through, if you want to send another marketing piece, if you get someone who responds and you want to go look at where they came from and see which group they were in, and then you make a note of that, and then next time you're going to find lenders, you could follow that same path because you knew it worked. And that's why these labels are really, really key. You can also customize your setup in My Account. So search is where you search for your private lenders and sort of start the management process and the fine tuning. Save leads is where you kind of work on those saved leads, the one that you liked. And then My Account is where you can actually set up a few really important things. One is your profile. It's who you are, where you're from, all that stuff. Default search, which is right within the system, tells the system where you want to make your default search, and you can change it as many times as you want. If you invest in 4 different states, then you could come in here and change it 4 different times, although you can only have one default search, since it is a default. So you got to pick the market that you always want to start with there. Downloads, if you ever download leads, if you have an annual account and you have a right to download leads, when you do, they'll be right there and saved for you so you can go back to them at any time. And then alerts. Alerts are a really cool new feature that we've set up that allow you to get alerted when new leads are added. And I love this so much because I'm a busy guy. I'm always moving around and doing stuff. And I can set this up, and I have set it up so that anytime I get a new private lender in Greenville, in fact, I got a text message yesterday that said, hey, new private lender in Greenville, it texts me and lets me know. Why is that important? Well, if I'm the first person to contact this guy and say, hey, would you like to invest in my property? Or are you interested in earning a little bit more on your money? Blah, 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 blah. I have a better chance of getting them to be my lender versus you getting them to be yours. So whenever I get a new lead, I want to jump on it fast. You don't have to, but that's just what I choose to do. And I love getting those text messages, but you can also set it to email alerts. I have both come to me, as you can see there, so that if I'm ignoring my phone that day, it still comes through and I can still do something about it. And you can set up as many alerts as you want, and it alerts you based on features. So you could only get alerts if it's like the perfect lead, but private lender lead, by the way, but not get alerts if it's not like right within your wheelhouse. You know, you can set those filters right there as you're adding your new alert. You can also use our task feature to set tasks within your uh, marketing plan. So one of the things that I love most about our systems is the ability to set tasks which keep you on point. Now, for me, I live and die by my calendar. If I don't calendar, pick my kids up from school or go for a run, I'll forget. I've got too much going on, and I just like sort of taking that pressure of remembering everything out of my brain and putting it into the computer. So I run my life off of a calendar, and I'll calendar everything. And I think that's one of the coolest features about this system is the task calendar gives you the ability to say, you know, create a new task, follow up with hot leads, set a date and a time, add notes, create reminders, get a text or email alert, and then add the task. And it connects right there within the system. And it'll tell you, you can set up your whole marketing plan each week, what you're going to do for your private lenders right within the system, set your reminders, and let them keep you on point. Because the worst thing you can do is have the best intentions at the beginning, and then things get busy and you forget to do it, and all of a sudden, you know, calls stop coming in from private lenders, and then all of a sudden you realize, oh my God, it's been 4 weeks since I marketed to them. And that will happen because when you get busy, it's easy to forget that stuff. So take the extra 5 or 10 minutes it takes to create as many tasks for the month as you can, and then at the 31st or 30th of this month, so today, uh, you want to create all your tasks for next month and always stay ahead of yourself. That way you're constantly being reminded, do this, make sure this is done, make sure this is done. And when you do that, you're going to notice a giant increase in the amount of leads you got coming in and deals you're doing. I promise you that. In the marketing tools tab, you can choose who you want to market to and how you want to market to them. We've got marketing templates in there, access to your mailing list. You can view your marketing history so you can see what you've mailed to, who you've mailed to, all the different pieces, direct mailers. So if you want to look at the direct mail pieces, it's right within direct mailers tab, labels and envelopes. If you're going to do your own printing of your direct mail, which would mean you either choose to do it or you have less than 50 pieces going out, that's a section that you'd be interested in, labels and envelopes, and I'll show you a little bit in a few minutes about how you can customize those. The compliance manual, I talked earlier about the SEC compliance manual. If you click on that tab right there, it'll let you download it. You can also listen to an hour-long training of a good friend of ours going through that compliance manual and pointing out what's important. Meeting documents, and we'll go through that in a bit, and then heat maps, and we'll go through that also. Now, from marketing tools, one of the most important things you're going to have to do is when you go to direct mailers, select the type of mailer you want to do. And once you're in the system, you have two choices. You can either create a brand new template, and if you're a marketing whiz, you've been doing this forever, and you know exactly what you want your postcard to say, then that option might be for you. And if it is, it's the green button on the right. If you're just getting started, or if you're like, hey, just show me what works and I'll use it, then you're going to want to use the link on the left. It says click to preview copy from our list of available templates. Now, these are templates that are designed and used by Cam in his business. So we know they work. They've worked and proved themselves over a long period of time. And you can click on either one of those links. If you click on the left one, which is where most people start, you're going to see this. So you click on it, it's going to show you all the available templates. Template name, and we have one-on-ones, group meetings, hot buyers list, fellow investors, earn handsome returns for the postcard templates, a bold version of earn handsome returns, right? And what you're going to do is, once you find the one you want to view that you possibly might use, and you can view them all, you click on view. Once you do that, it's going to show you a snapshot of what that marketing piece looks like, and you can read it right there. You can also edit it once you've chosen it. Okay, so you look at it and you say, this is the one I want to use. I want to make some slight edits, but this is it. So then you'll close that out, and the next thing you'll do is say copy to my templates. Boom, you click it right there, and you can start using that postcard or that letter as your letter and go after it. Now, customers have been absolutely loving the private lender data, new improved private lender data feed, and we've updated a little while ago with all of our new bells and whistles just to match every other system that we do. And one of the coolest sort of new features has been the automated mailer tool, which allows investors to contact private lenders. And we had Daisy Smith write in and said, the automatic mailer tool allows me to contact private lenders in minutes. The private lender data feed not only gives me the names and mailing addresses of current private lenders, but it also has a mailer program where I can send a professional letter to all the private lenders in my area in a matter of minutes. I love it. And that really is a great like snapshot of what the system does. It's not like some extravagantly confusing system. It's log in, search for private lenders, select the ones you want, send them mailings, let them call you, nail down the deal. Also, an added benefit of using our built-in mail manager is the ultra low cost direct mail that we're able to pass on to you from our mail house. And we actually pass on the lowest cost possible to you. We don't profit off of that, and we do that so that you can do more deals and so that you have a great option for direct mail. Now, the private lender data feed is an automated solution. It's one of the least expensive, high quality private lender sources available to investors, and it's constantly being enhanced and becoming more powerful every day. We're always listening to our customers. We're always listening to their advice and their suggestions, and I'll show you how you can be a part of that and give us your suggestions at the end of this call. But a lot of our coolest features have come from customers or other investors who've said, it'd be cool if, private lender data feed could fill in the blank, right? And then our brain starts turning, and Cam, starts thinking about it. He's like, oh, that would be cool, and I bet we could do this, and what if we did that? And then we run it by our programming team, and before you know it, we have awesome new features like our heat maps feature, which has been shared throughout all of our systems, whether it's private lender data feed, the cash buyer data feed, or vacant house data feed. You can use our heat maps feature. Now, the heat maps feature, when used within the private lender data feed, will allow you to do some advanced market research that your competition simply cannot get access to. Here's how it works. So from within the marketing tools tab, which I showed you earlier, you'll click on marketing tools. At the bottom left, you're going to see heat maps. Once you click on heat maps, it's going to pull up a heat map of your selected state and county. Okay. Now, the one thing to understand is you can see it sort of looks like it's showing a light rainstorm over Greenville right now. Well, we have this density key at the bottom, and the reason we have the density key is because a heat map needs to show you where all the action's happening, right? It's what it's for. And our heat map works just like a weather map. If it's green, that means it's light activity. If it's yellow, it means it's mild. And if it's red, that means it's hot. So when you're looking at this, you can see like Gaffney has a real red center there. And as we're approaching the center of Greenville, there's a couple red dots, but it's a lot of yellow and green. So I can see that there's a medium to high density in the center of Greenville, and then it stretches out pretty good right there. If you zoom in, you can get a lot better look. But this is a good research tool for you if you're going into a market, or if you're in a current market but you might want to adjust where you're marketing to or who you're marketing to. Again, this is just data and information that your competition doesn't have, which means you can have a leg up on them by using these tools. You can also zoom in on your local markets. So you can see here, if we zoom in on Greenville, we can see those red dots really flare up. Now, as an investor, I look at that and I'm thinking, well, let me zoom in even further and figure out exactly where those red dots are. And I guarantee you those are going to be some of the areas where houses are flying off the market and things are really popping off. And what you want to do is you want to make sure you're watching those areas. If you're not marketing in them, you're just watching them. And you're getting to know, you're using this tool, which is free to you as a member of the private lender data feed, to really become an expert in your area, which will allow you to be a service to other people, to make better decisions in your business, and it will pay off in the long run. One of the other cool features of the heat maps that I like best is it allows you to research markets nationally. So if you're in South Carolina right now and you're looking at, I want to, I'm investing in Charleston, South Carolina, but I'd love if I could get out in California. I hear that's where it's awesome, or get out in Florida, right? Like this picture here. You could simply, from your desk in South Carolina, choose Florida, choose the county you want to go after, and start looking to see what the activity is in Florida and where the hot markets are. And that'll give you a leg up on your competition because now you know these are the areas where I might want to focus. This makes virtual investing easier than it's ever been before. I mean, to think about 10, 12 years ago, being able to, even 8 years ago, 5 years ago, being able to sit in your computer and look and see where all the action was happening around you or in a state 5 states away or from one coast to the other, that was unheard of. You'd have to pay a huge data firm to do all the analytics or some huge data company to figure it out. And then you'd have to be smart enough to write algorithms to make all that data make sense. But now you literally make two choices, hit search, and you can look at it and zoom in, zoom out. You can see that Miami's hot, Fort Lauderdale's hot. All these areas are doing good. And you might be saying, like, I've been to Port St. Lucie. How is there not a hot, zone there? Well, if you zoom in on Port, it's looking at the whole state right now. So it's showing you in relation to the whole state, Miami and Fort Lauderdale are the hottest right now. But if you zoom in and get closer to Port St. Lucie, you're going to see it has plenty of hot zones as well. So it's all in perspective. If you're looking at the whole state, it's going to be, you're not going to have a hot zone in each spot. It's going to be the hottest zones in the state are going to show. But if you zoom into the area, the local area, you're going to start seeing the hot zones there. Hopefully that makes sense. Plus, we've just introduced another awesome feature that came as a way of customer suggestion with the custom mailing labels for self-mailing solution. We had a lot of people who were doing custom mailings, and they're like, hey, it'd be nice if we could customize the labels on these things a little bit. So what do? We created the ability for you to customize those labels. One thing you'll have is the ability to select the label type. You can go to Staples, Walmart, wherever you go to get your labels, and whatever Avery type you've got, you simply scroll down, select the Avery number, boom, put it right in there. You can come in, change to many different fonts, a handwriting looking font, a more whimsical font, a straight business style font like Arial. You can select font colors. And as you may or may not know, but with marketing, I'm constantly teaching people to test different things. And one of the things you can do to try to get a better open rate is test different font colors on the envelope. Because think about it. When you get something in the mail, if it's from a bank, it's usually like, regular black print with a regular boring font, right? Well, rarely do I get something that's, a sales message that's like in a whimsical font with a pink writing on it. So you might try that. Try purple and see what your open response rate is, or blue or red, green even. And just keep note of that and watch what happens and see what your results are. And then simply making these couple quick selections and then hit generate labels, and it'll automatically print to your printer with your labels in it like that. So now that we've gone through some of the important features of the private lender data feed, let's get to some of your questions. Now, this is the part where I'll tell you, please go put your questions in the question bank here on GoToWebinar. If you stick them in there, I will start getting to them as they come through. I can see you guys have already started putting questions in. I do see Raymond. I think everybody else hears me okay. I did an audio check earlier and everybody said it was good, so I hope that it's you. But if not, you guys can let me know. Good news will be I'm recording this now, so you'll be able to rewatch this and hopefully have good audio for you. But if you have questions, go ahead and go through there. Great, I see them coming through. In the meantime, while you're typing in your questions, I'm going to go through some of the most frequently asked questions that we get on a daily basis about the system. So we'll go through these, and then I'll make sure I get to yours. So first thing I get asked every time I'm teaching someone about either the private lender data feed or cash buyer or any of these systems is there a system? Is there a training that shows me from A to Z how to get through the deal, locating the private lender with private lender data feed, to getting the check at the closing table all the way through? And the answer is yes. There is a training. It's called the Vacant House and Foreclosure Summit. And that is a 3-day training that Cam does with him. He shows up. He's the one teaching it. And it's 3 days of no BS, what's working now training designed to teach you exactly how to use tools like the private lender data feed and more. All of our tools are showcased there to do more deals and cash more checks in today's market. This is not your average event. This is a 3-day hands-on training where we roll up our sleeves and we get to work. And Cam is famous for saying he's going to send you home loaded for bear, because I've been in this industry since I was 18, so 18 years, and I've been to a lot of trainings in that time. And I can tell you, I've never seen a training that gives you so many tools, resources, confidence, knowledge to go out there and start creating real success than does the Vacant House and Foreclosure Summit. That's what that training is. And yes, Cam actually shows up to the event. He's the one teaching the entire thing. He's the first person to say hello to you on Friday morning, and he's the last person to say goodbye to you on Sunday night. And he teaches everything in between, so it really is 3 days with Cam, and they are life changing. I've seen multiple personal testimonies while there of people telling me how that event alone was the catalyst for changing their life. And if you want to go to that, if you're interested, if you want more training, you can go to timewithcam.com. And the good news is, I promised you I wasn't going to sell you anything. That is free. You can actually attend for free. There's no hidden charges there. The only thing is, we're going to ask you to put up a seat deposit, and we only do that so that we know that you're truly planning on coming, because we plan on putting a lot of special things in place for you, and we want to make sure that we have a legitimate head count as we're getting close. So timewithcam.com, go check it out now, reserve your seat. We have an event coming up soon, and we are going to end up closing that sucker off early, so you don't want to wait to reserve your seat. Reserve it now at timewithcam.com. There's VIP options, which are not free, but you can attend with a regular seat, and you can bring a guest, and all you have to do is put up a seat deposit, and you get your money back the second you show up. So if you would love to learn how to do more deals, you'd love to be able to get sort of all the gaps filled in on your business and not sort of try to stumble through on your own, timewithcam.com and the Vacant House and Foreclosure Summit is your answer. Next question, what do the stars mean? Get this a lot. People get in the system and they're like, what do all these stars mean? I'm confused. Are they special? The answer is yes, these leads are special. The stars signify that in the case of a yellow star, the lender has funded 2 to 4 properties when they're personal funds in the past 120 days. The green stars mean that this lender has funded 5 or more properties with their personal funds in the past 120 days. So if you see a yellow star, that means that they're active, and if you see a green star, it means they're super active lenders. How often is the private lender data feed updated? The answer to that is weekly. We update the information weekly. Now, this used to be monthly, and we've actually been able to streamline our systems and really work hard to get you the data more frequently, which means, again, you have a leg up on your competition because they're not getting it that quickly, which is awesome for you. Why are properties shown when I just want the lender information? So why are you showing properties in the system when all I care about is the lender's information? Well, including the property information makes the data more relevant for you. That way you can see what types of deals they funded in the past, the amount they're capable of funding, and the area that they prefer to fund in as well. And that's what I was explaining. When I'm looking at the lead, I see, that this is a normal, 3-2 fixer-upper. And I can see that they're used to lending on that versus seeing that it's just a land and no house versus maybe it's a convenience store, whatever it is. I can see that the property they've lended on is something that looks about like something I've got or is in the same realm or same world as that. And that's important to know, because if you're on a limited budget and you're trying to figure out how to get the biggest bang for your buck, you might not want to go after people who only lend. I can see this person's lent 5 times in the last 120 days, and every time it's on a piece of land only, no property on it. I might skip that person because their actions are telling me what their habits are. And I don't want to try to change someone's habits. I want to go after people who are already doing what I want to do. Question, what is the difference between transfer and assessed value as well as loan amount? And this is a question I think as I was telling you guys to start writing in your questions, I saw this one come up a bunch. So let's go through this. The transfer value refers to the purchase price of the property the last time it transferred ownership. Okay, that's transfer value. It's the purchase price of the property the last time it transferred ownership. A home assessment is the value assigned to your home for the purpose of determining your property taxes. and the loan amount is the actual amount the lender has lent for that property. Now, one of the other questions that's always like, in an asterisk to that is how come the loan amount and the transfer value are different? And that could be because that the loan amount includes cost for repairs or any other type of fee or reason that isn't that we don't know, that isn't listed in the data in public record. That's why sometimes they don't match, but that's not super important that the loan amount and transfer value don't match. To me, what I'm looking to see is that the loan amount is, around about the type of money that I'm looking for. But that's the difference. So transfer value refers to the purchase price of the property the last time it transferred ownership. A home assessment is the value assigned to your home for the purposes of property taxes, and a loan amount is the actual amount the lender lent on that property. Excuse me. Where do you obtain your data from, and how recent is the data itself? Well, we obtain our data from several different sources of public record. The data is then taken, organized, sorted, sifted, and organized so that we can present it to you in a neat and orderly fashion. You can then use our additional search filters to narrow your results and make your job easier for going after these lenders. The data stays in the system for 120 days and then is filtered out, so you're getting the most recent, up-to-date information. So a lead inside our system is never more than 120 days old. And again, you get notified when all the new leads come in if you set those notifications. So you're constantly being updated and provided with fresh, hot leads for your private lenders. One question that comes up quite often is how can I differentiate old leads from new? And that's pretty simple. As you're going through your system, if it's a lead that you don't want to see anymore, you can remove the lead from your search box, and I recommend you do that. So you either put it in two places. You either save the lead, which is this bookmark here, or you remove the lead. And if you do that, you're going to be cleaning out your lead screen on your search screen on your first window. So it's either save or remove. Okay, now the good news is if you've removed them, they're not gone forever. You can always restore all leads. Right here, there's a little restore leads tab. It makes it nice and easy for you. Okay, and you can restore those leads so that you can get them back. But if you do that, when new leads show up, you'll see the new leads there, and you'll know those are the new ones. Question, how do I create a mailing list? Well, you can create a mailing list in a couple of ways. The first is from the main page, the search page. If you want to create a mailing list, and as you scroll down, you can load as many as you want. You just simply check mark the lead you want to add to the mailing list. And then from this drop-down menu, you can do many things, but you can also add recipient to mailing list. Okay. There's another way to do it. You can do it from My Saved Leads. So if you're in your My Saved Leads tab, so the last example was right here in search. Now we're in My Saved Leads. You can, again, check mark the ones you want to add your recipients to the mailing list, and then scroll down, add to mailing list. And you can add labels and remove labels, like I said earlier, when creating labels. And option 3, you can do it from marketing tools as well. So if you go to marketing tools, you can click here, and instead of finding the leads first and putting them into a mailing list, you can create the mailing list and then go find the leads for them. Right here with that green button, create mailing list. Where can I find old mailing lists I've created? That's right within marketing tools, and then right here where it says mailing lists. And you can see here that I have the ability to see past mailing lists. All right, hold on, got a bunch of questions coming in. Just make sure I'm managing that okay. Let's see here. Where can I find the suggestion box? So a lot of the greatest features that we've got come from your great suggestions. So please give them to us when you've got them. And the way you do that is over here on contact, right here where you see that. You can put in your name, email, and then tell us your suggestion. Now, a lot of the suggestions that really are helpful start with, it'd be great if the system could blank, and then we can see if there's a way to programmatically do it. And if it's a suggestion that more than one person would benefit from, and a lot of times it is. If it's something that you really want, chances are it's something somebody else wants too. So tell us about it. The least that can happen is it goes into a later update. The best thing that could happen is we jump on it like it's a hot fire because it's such a good idea. So send it in and let us check it out. And if it's a great idea, we'll get it implemented, that's for sure. How can I change my default search settings? That was right within my account, and right here under default search settings, you can change to your state and county right there. and then hit save. And again, you can change this as many times as you want. You're not locked into only finding Greenville, even though that's your default search. It's another question people have. It's like a question 1A or 1B here is, well, my default search setting is South Carolina and Greenville, but I want to look at Texas and I want to pull leads for there too because I want to invest there. Do I have to get another account? The answer is no. Default is there just to make it easier on you every time you log in, but you can always zoom out and search any area you want across the country. There's nothing stopping you from doing that. How do I save leads? So saving leads, again, is with this bookmark feature. So anywhere you see that bookmark feature, you're able to do it. You can do it from the main page. You can do it from the main page over here on the drop down. So you can either do it right here on the main page, the icon, or you can do the drop down and save leads. Or you can do it from the property details page right here next to the print button, save leads like I showed you guys earlier. Where and how do I send out direct mail? So we talked about the direct mail options, but how do I send them out? Well, you can do it in a couple different places. Option number one is you can do it from the main page where you've actually selected. You could save. If you don't want to save it, you just want to get straight to direct mailing them, you go to select from, generate mailer, and boom, you could print the mailer right there from your printer on the spot. Option two is from your saved leads. So if you're like me and you want to move all the ones that look good over into your saved leads, and then while you're in there, you decide, oh, I want to send to this top one here, you can select from the following and generate the mailer right there. And the third option is from with marketing tools. You can use the direct mailer tab right here to send out a mail. Can I edit the marketing pieces? Absolutely. You can edit all of them. You can edit the postcards right here from within marketing tools with that little pencil button that you see right there. You just click edit. It'll let you get in there and edit everything so you can customize. Now, earlier when we talked about marketing pieces, I said that you have either the available templates that we've got or you can create new ones. And I always suggest that if you're going to use one of our templates, that you go in there and edit it just to make sure that it reads exactly how you want it to. Maybe some of the verbiage or wording isn't exactly how you would say something. I would go in and change that if I was you. Make it more you. Put your stamp on it. The more you do that, the more when someone responds to it, and then you're that same person, it's just going to flow. And when everything's flowing between the piece they got, the phone call they made to you, the responses you give them, it's just a better feel. And when you have that good feel, there's much more higher chance of creating that partnership, between you and someone else. So go in there and customize those things. You can also do it within letter templates as well. And you can see the button's grayed out here, but there is an edit button there. When you click it, it'll gray out and pull it up so you can edit it. And where and how do I find letter postcard pricing? Well, what you'll do is when you're within marketing tools and you're in direct mailers, if you selected more than 50 pieces, it's going to show you pricing because with the system, it only lets you use the automatic mailer or the mail manager tool if you have 50 or more pieces, and that's just required from the mail house. So 50 or more, you'll see the pricing come up and it's right there, and you can go through and decide, is this for you? Do you want to go with a higher quality ink or black or color envelope or whatever, and you can select those and then continue. Where do I find the meeting checklist? So one of the things that is cool about the system is it doesn't just give you access to the private lenders. We're also trying to provide you with tools so you can be more successful with those private lenders. So you'll get things like the meeting checklist or a one-on-one meeting marketing document or a group luncheon marketing document. So it helps you provide those one-on-one meetings with someone. It helps you get that group luncheon set up, or it helps you with the meeting. So we've created a meeting checklist so that you know exactly what you have to do to prepare for that meeting, and then what you have to say when you show up to the meeting and what you need to provide. So it helps you prepare. If you've never done one before, this makes it so you don't feel like a newbie. You'll have everything you need. You'll be fully prepared, and you'll go into it with confidence rather than wondering, hope I'm doing this right. So you can access that meeting checklist right within the meeting documents right here on the marketing tools page. What's the difference between the one-on-one and group luncheon meeting documents? Well, the one-on-one document is designed to cordially invite the lender to a private event or private environment to discuss details of the funding that you want them to pursue. This letter has the lender call you to set up the time and place, so it's basically a private meeting. I'd love if I could get some of your time to explain why I can help you do better on your investments. The group luncheon is designed to invite the lender to a small business style meeting at a specified location. So join me for a group luncheon. You're going to provide, whatever it is, just small sandwiches or finger foods or whatever for a 30 to 45-minute presentation where you teach them this, that, and the other. I think our marketing documents say an hour-long presentation. So that's the difference between those two documents. What's the difference between the mailing address and the site address? That's always a good question. The mailing address is the physical address for the lender themselves. The site address is for which the lender has privately funded the deal for. So the site address is the house they provided the funding for. The mailing address is for the lender themselves. So if you're trying to send mail to a lender, the first place you'd want to look is the mailing address. What are the guidelines for reaching out to a private lender, and how does it differ from state to state? And that answer is because you're reaching out to a complete stranger and asking to borrow their personal funds, the initial means of contact must be a formal written request. To ensure you're being compliant with your state regulations, we have included both a written and audio rendition of the SEC compliance manual as a complete resource for you. Okay, it's right within the system. I showed you earlier where the compliance manual was. It's a marketing tool, compliance manual. And you can see right here within the system, we've got a full hour-long training for you to listen to. You can also download the manual and listen to it, or review it and go through it for your state and figure out exactly what the laws are there. If you want to go the extra mile and consult with an attorney, that's probably not a bad idea either, because I am not an attorney. I don't play on TV, and I can't give advice in that regard. But you need to make sure that you're just comfortable with what those rules are, so you don't accidentally break one. Where can I locate my previously downloaded information? That's right within downloads of my account. So boom, right there, and you can see we downloaded one in this test account, so you can see it right there, download November 22nd. And finally, let's log in and see the system in action. I'll do that real quick while you guys are sending your last few questions, and then we'll get going. Let's see if I can get in here. All right, so right here you can see I'm on my Real Estate Wealth Network dashboard, and if I wanted to log into private lender data feed, here's hoping it didn't log me out already. Good. I just click on the link and it logs me in. And as it's loading here, you can see it pulls up the map of Greenville, and I have, again, search, saved leads, my account, tasks, marketing tools, contact. Now, one button that is not on our dashboard here across the top is the training video button, because there is no training video for private lender data feed available on the site yet. However, in a couple days, there will be one, and it'll be right here next to contact, okay? So anytime you want to walk back in and go through a training video on how to use this system, you click right there, okay? It'll say training video. It'll be sticking out like sore thumb, and you can go back and review it over and over again. I know that I've talked very quickly during this training. I do that because we have a lot of information to cover in a short period of time, but I want to make sure that you've got access to it over and over again, because ultimately what I care about is that you understand how to use the system the most so you can get the most out of it. So you can come into the system, and as you can see here, it's loaded below all the different private lenders that are available to me. You can see it loads and loads and loads, and they're right there. All right, and at the very bottom, oh, I hit the bottom. Now it's going to load more. All right, so that's it. Now if I scroll to the top, you should be able to see that there's even more private lenders available on the map. That's what I was explaining earlier, right? Now, this is kind of, it's like, oh, what am I looking at? It's like a crazy spider web, makes no sense to me. I can zoom in and I can really start digging into where the private lenders are at. And let's say I had a property right here on Cherokee Drive. I can zoom in on Cherokee. I lost it, where'd it go? There it is. I could zoom in on Cherokee, and I could say, okay, well, let's see what kind of lenders are going on over here. So I can look at this one. And I could look at the details of that one and say, oh, land, right? Let's say I had a property, not land. I'd want to look at the next one. Oh, another guy. He owns a couple of them right here. More land, right? And I bet you there's more land. Not interested in this guy for, let's say. Now that doesn't mean, though, he wouldn't be a good lender. I'm just saying if I'm on a budget, I want to go after someone who's got ooh, look at that. Perfect. Nice little house. Looks like my kind of fixer-upper. Actually, it looks like it's in decent shape, but this might be a type of property that I go after here, and I can save that lead. Boom, save lead, and it says this lead has been saved. Perfect. Right, and then I go to the next one. Let's see here. Boom, another perfect type of property that I'm looking for someone to lend money on. Loan amount 126,461. Perfect. Now, if I wanted to see this on a map right here where it says load map, I could click that. And as we scroll down, here's where that little extra bit of research comes in handy, because I can see like what types of areas is it in. You know, you can see here, boom, there's like an apartment complex back here. I mean, these are the types of areas that I invest in, so I'm happy to see that. I like that a lot. Right? That's good. So I'm going to save the lead. And you can see this is what you do. You just go through and start picking the ones you want to save. And once you have enough to save, go to My Save Leads. And you can see right here from My Save Leads, I can either select the ones I want to send to, or I can select them all. And I can drop down and generate a mailing, or right here, or add a label. Right? Create a new label. Test. Yellow, red, save. Boom. We're going to add this one. Add all leads. All right, and it'll automatically be in there next time you pull it up. Marketing tools. If we go in there, and I'm just going to show you guys a couple things. Heat maps obviously is a really cool feature, and we talked about that earlier. But you get there with heat maps, and you can zoom in or zoom out your areas with the little zoom buttons. The compliance manual, again, is located here. When you hover over this link, you can download it. One click will download it to your desktop, or you can click play and listen to the training there. And again, of course, contact. If you ever have any questions, you had customer service issues, anything that you need help with, you can reach us by calling this number here. You can email us by emailing this address here. You can also click for live support chat between 8:30 a.m. and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday. But we also have weekend support available via email, so you can always email in and get your answers answered too. So we try to be here as often as we can for our customers, so that they can move forward as fast as possible in their business. So that is the system. And again, you have the live support at the top. You can log out, and you can always, by the way, something we don't talk about, you can always take a tour. And we have this within all our systems, the ability to take a tour. Let me show you what that is. So if you click right here, take a tour, it's going to allow you to go through the system and show you the cool stuff. So take a tour. Click next. It shows you the top search bar, tells you why it's there. Click next. It'll show you the more filters and show you why it's there. Next, explains the search results. Next, shows you what the additional options are for the save, details, or print. Okay, so you can go through, and you don't just take it once. You can take that tour as many times as you want. So if you're confused, you can use that to help sort of get you unconfused a little bit. So let's go ahead and get to your live questions. I've seen a bunch come through, so I'm going to go ahead and try to get to them now. Let me see here. Let's see here. Someone asked, who is this presenting? This is Josh Brown. I am CAM's VP of Marketing and Business Development, and I am the presenter tonight, so hopefully you like it. What is transfer amount? We talked about that earlier, Chris, so hopefully you're good. That's awesome, Fred. Someone said, can you explain the compliance information? And I think I did that. You probably asked before I got to it. If I didn't, you can chime in with another question there. I'd be happy to answer it for you. Kevin, you asked a question, and that might take more of a specific answer than I want to give on the call, just because it's not pertinent to everybody else. But what I'll say is I will get this question I'll send over to our programming team. We'll figure out why, because that doesn't seem right. There's got to be something wrong with a button you've clicked or something. Yeah, especially since, well, you know what? Kevin's finding that he's not getting leads in Connecticut or Mass, and that cannot be right. So we will look and figure out why. There's got to be something wrong there. That's good news. Um, uh, Question from Tim was, in any of the data feeds, can you search for a specific lead? Say I get a response from a lead that is in my leads, but not yet. And I flip and I want to quickly pull it up. We do not have the feature for you to pull up specific leads by address, because basically you'd have to do it, I guess, by the address of the lead itself. And we haven't added that yet. There's a few reasons why, but uh, it just hasn't been added. Sorry, Tim. But we will certainly, I mean, that's a great suggestion for the suggestion box if you want to go stick it in there, just so it gets in the queue, and we'll look at it again. Can you label lenders by dollar amounts? Absolutely, Fred. The cool thing about labels is you can create 1,000,000 of them. So you could say, greater than 50, less than 100, less than 150, wherever you want to do it. You could label them that way. I like that idea. All right, good. I see that some of you guys are writing in that I did answer your questions with all of our Q&A. I'm telling you, man, we get these Q&As are built based off of the questions that actually come into our customer support. So before I did this training, I sat down with customer support, and me and my team really worked hard to make sure that we answer those questions that come in a lot. So that if you're watching this training video and you're on it live, chances are I'm going to answer the questions that are running through your head, because we've had so many customers and clients use this program over the years that we know sort of what you're thinking before you think it. So hopefully I did answer a lot of your questions. Let's see here. Do I prefer setting up one-on-one meetings or group meetings? That's a great question, and this is from David, and I'm going to answer it for you in two ways. I think personally for me, I prefer group luncheons, and here's why. For me, I'd rather talk once to multiple people and like have multiple opportunities to sell in 1 hour period. And not really selling, but I think you understand what I'm saying. Versus have to have 10 different meetings. However, I think that for someone who's new to speaking to private lenders, it probably feels it, regardless of whether it is or not, it probably feels less intimidating to do one-on-one than a group setting. I mean, personally, I think I'm saying almost the exact same things in the one-on-one that I'm saying in a group luncheon. It just depends on how comfortable you are talking to people and whether you feel intimidated by that situation. Because if you feel more intimidated with those group meetings, then just do one-on-ones. You're going to have a better success rate. But I promise you, once you get good at the one-on-ones, you'll just go straight to groups because it's a lot easier. However, you're going to have some people who just won't ever respond to one-on-ones. So you got to take that into account. So that's answer number one for you. Answer number two, test and see which one works. If you're comfortable doing either one, you just want the best result, then I would do one-on-one mailer and see how that works. And I'd mail the same list and do the group meetings and see how that works. And the next time around, I'd start with the one that worked better, and I'd test it that way. And so see which one pulls better for my group of lenders. The question was, so I assume you get these lenders set up prior to buying houses. Yeah. So if you've got a house that you need to find a lender for, it's okay to approach them and sort of do it while you've got the house that you need the lender for. However, a lot of times I'm finding lenders for an opportunity that I don't yet have. I'm giving them the opportunity when I have it available to make a better return on their investment. So yeah, you're right. Right now, there's no template for conducting a luncheon meeting, but there is a template for holding it. The reason we don't provide the template for conducting it is simply because there's so many different ways to do it. But that is a great suggestion box feature you might want to type in there. Let's see here. Hi, Josh. This is Bob Oliver. You did a great job this last Seattle seminar. Thank you, Bob. And Bob is talking about the Vacant House and Foreclosure Summit we did in Seattle about a month ago. Maybe 2 months ago. I don't know. Time flies so fast. His question is, what's my personal experience with using private lenders on your deals? Any examples? So I used my very first deal I did. I was 18 years old. My father-in-law, at the time, he wasn't my father-in-law, he was my girlfriend's dad, sort of strong-armed me. If you've heard my personal story, he scared me into out of the lawn mowing business and into the real estate business with a very, it was a loving way, but it still scared me when I was 18 years old. And anyway, he mentored us through our first deal. And my first experience with private lenders was him teaching me how to go find a private lender, how to talk to them. We sat at a table, did a one-on-one. He helped me explain the opportunity, that whole process. And so my very first deal I did was with a private lender. I've done multiple deals with private lenders, whether it's usually I'd be buying to fix, rehab, and either turn it into a rental property and get a mortgage and get the private lender out of the deal, or fix, rehab, resell, and then pay off the private lender and keep the profits from it. So that's been my experience with private lenders so far. I love them. Private lenders it's the cheapest money and the easiest money to work with in the real estate space that I've found. And in many cases, it's cheaper than your own money, especially if you know what private lending is. I've been a private lender for other people with my money, but I wouldn't use my own money on my deals because, there's a lot of reasons, but that's just one of the things I've always been taught, and that's why I do it. David, the answer is yes. And he said it was personal, so I'm not going to say it out loud, but I'll just give you the answer here. The answer is yes, and more. I'd go to as many counties as possible, man, within and around the area. All right, we've got time for a few more questions. If you guys have them, you can pop them in. I'll get them answered. I really appreciate you staying on. I see that we still have a ton of people on the line, so I really appreciate your time. I hope you've enjoyed this presentation. And again, I'm sorry I talked so fast, but I had so much to go over. I didn't want to leave you on here all night. If you did enjoy it, make sure you let Cam know next time you see him. Let's see here. Next, John's got a question. Do you prefer postcards rather than letters? And regardless what you prefer, do you have a color preference? That's a great question, John. Thank you. And I think it's going to be our last question tonight, but I will answer it as best I can for you. So, love marketing questions. That's my thing. I'm a marketer. I prefer the piece that works best. And as a marketer, I'll tell you, it's not always postcards, it's not always letters. However, if I'm starting from scratch and I'm going after a new list of private lenders, I'm going to start with a postcard. And here's why. You don't have to have, open rate is something that people worry about with direct mail because you send a letter, it's in an envelope, and you got to get the envelope opened. With a postcard, your open rate is 100% all the time because there's nothing to open. It's just got to fall out. So postcards are a good low cost, no open rate worry strategy if you're getting started. So I like postcards a lot for that reason. Color, I prefer goldenrod yellow. It's always worked great for me. It's one of my favorites, or yellow in general. Goldenrod is my sort of little personal choice, but any yellowish postcard, you know what I'm talking about, the same color that the bandit signs are, all that stuff. And a lot of the postcard colors, and you can get that yellow, through our stuff too. So that's my answer on postcards. However, I constantly am testing, different types of letters as well as yellow letters. Yellow letters work great for motivated seller leads, but you can also use yellow letters for private lenders too. You might want to put a little more information in your yellow letter than is typical for a motivated seller, but you could test out yellow letters because they look so different, they feel so different, and they just give a completely different vibe, and they're opened up really well in terms of letters because they don't look like a credit card bill, it looks like a birthday card. And the company I use for yellow letters is yellowletterscomplete.com. You can also, though, rest assured knowing that we are going to be adding yellow letters to many of our systems. So you can do it right within our mail manager as well, right within private lender data feed, vacant ops data feed, and cash buyer data feed. Thank you, David, very much. I appreciate the kind words, man. Thank you, Fred. I appreciate it. All right, guys. So that has been your training on the private lender data feed. I hope that you got a lot out of it and that you are now more armed to do more deals and cash more checks in your business and in using the private lender data feed system. Remember that if you ever need any help at all, our customer care is our top priority. Your customer care is our top priority. And you can contact us by calling 607 527 6097, or you can email info@realestatewealthnetwork.com, or you can simply click on live chat at the top of any one of our websites to get one of our friendly and smiling support staff on the phone to help you out with any of your issues. So with that said, I'm wishing you the best of luck and the most success. It's we're getting down to the end of the year here. We have 1 month left, so I'm going to challenge you on this call to get as much done as you can between now and the end of December to get ready for next year. That doesn't mean postpone doing anything. It means get as much done now in December. Don't let Christmas get in your way. Work through it. I found that December is a month that a lot of people typically give themselves permission to take off. But I've always worked hardest in December and found that it's been one of my best months ever for business. And I would challenge you to do the same thing. Don't take it off. Work hard. The harder you work in December, the better your next year will be. I promise you that. So get out there, work hard, make some money, and I hope you enjoyed the training, guys. Take care and have a great night.